coffee and hot.
Yeah, damn good coffee and hot. Yeah, I'm Rain Man. Damn good coffee and hot. Good morning, folks. Tuesday, June 17th, 2022. Beautiful day here. Um, I guess I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are. I'll be honest with you, folks. I'm thinking about giving this up. Creative people are generally moody sons of bitches anyway. And I am definitely one of those. And lately I'm just feeling burnt out, like not feeling it. Not feeling it for the morning shows. I think tomorrow will be a better show and I'll change my mind. Yesterday sucked. Yesterday sucked. I have no qualms about saying yesterday's show sucked. And I apologize to anybody who spent any time listening to it, watching it, whatever. Um, just not feeling it. And tomorrow, Jackie will be. And Jackie always lifts my spirits. Jackie, the joke man, will be with me tomorrow. Today, I have another comedian scheduled for today at 10 a.m. Not even sure how to pronounce his name. It's Miule, Moyle, Gosher. Uh, but another comedian who has absolutely nothing online about him. He's got a Facebook page with a couple of listings on it. Now, I could call him, I could write to him and say, You got to tell me something about yourself before we go having a show that features you. Something. I mean, I know he's a Bay Area comic, but it seemed to me he was doing more in Vegas recently, according to his Facebook page again. But there's nothing really on his page about him and no other stuff. If you Google him, you're going to come up with nothing. Google gets confused by it. So that doesn't add to my mood about being really enthused about doing these shows anymore. Getting a lot of that lately. No shows by comedians. When people don't show up, that really bums me out, and it feels like I'm totally disrespected on that. Had another one yesterday. He forgot about it, or his phone was off, or something. Can we reschedule? I'm like, what am I here? I'm just here at your beck and call to do this shit. Sorry, man, but it's a lot of energy for me. And the no shows get a little old. I'm sorry. Am I complaining too much? It's Tuesday. Too early to be complaining. What's the weather like for this weekend? I got gigs this weekend. Just checking my weather. I want to, if I'm going to continue doing this, that's a big if, um, offer a new feature. Well, a couple of different things. Well, first of all, you know how some people, they're not actually sick, but they want to call in sick. Um, I'm going to offer a service to people. I'll call in sick for you. Just tell me, give me your job's number. Tell me what you want me to say, and I'll call in your job and call in sick for you. Also, I'm thinking maybe, perhaps. Oh well, yeah, that would be good. William, be on call, and William be willing to sub sometimes if you need it. Every day, you should be ready every every single day. Is these fucking I'm sorry. I didn't mean to start off cursing in the first 10 minutes, YouTube. I'm sorry. But these fucking people, man, just hanging me up all the time. But I was checking the weather. Oh, so I want to call in sick for people if you're reluctant to call in sick for yourself. Oh, now it's looking like a 40% chance I'm gonna get rained out, at least on Saturday. Bumming me out. I'm getting all bummed out. So anyway, and the other part of it is I'm thinking about just calling in sick to places that I don't work at and other people don't work at. Just randomly calling like a place and calling in sick and saying, "Hey, this is Al from accounting. I'm not going to be able to make it in today. I'm just not well. I think I caught a little monkeypox over the weekend, whatever." Uh, so anyway, that's what I'm considering adding if we hang out again. I'm a moody son of a bitch when it comes to creative stuff. I've felt like giving up on the band probably 1,000 times over the last 22 years. And with the podcasting, it comes and goes, not as frequently as with the band stuff, but it still happens. And when I get on a bad stretch, I just feel like, what's the fucking point? What am I doing this for? Um, so there it is. Anyway, in the news, and this is well, first of all, Dykes and Man are doing a show on Thursday called the Queen's Jubilee, which they spell wrong. But I think that's a English thing to kind of disrespect the whole thing. But I believe they're going to be touching on the Prince Andrew. I don't know. I even had a. It's not a scandal yet. It is a scandal, but the allegations of him being involved with Epstein and raping young girls. Epstein's back in the news. He's back in the news for a lot of things. First of all, somebody who was close to him, and I couldn't find the story. I was reading it Sunday. Somebody who was a close advisor to him also found dead in a jail cell with no security cameras. Suicide, suicide, right? Just like Epstein's suicide. Um, so that in itself is just when are people going to stop? I mean, back in the day when people committed crimes, they at least put in some effort to make it look like they are not committing crimes. No, they don't even friggin' care. Oh yeah, committed suicide. Just happened to be the cameras went off, the guards were on break, all that kind of stuff. Um, runs in the family. Good morning, Christina. Uh, yeah, um, but so it's Andrew's not my concern. He's the UK. It's not my concern. The Epstein thing is my concern. And as you know, you have to know by now, Elon Musk, who was a friend of Ghislaine, said in a tweet, or he challenged the DOJ to put out a list of Epstein's clients. And rich men, um, rich and powerful men, who were definitely, I don't want to say child rapists, because there were women that were being trafficked that were adults in their 20s. And some of them were willing. Some of them were prostitutes. Some of them were just there for the money and cocaine or whatever they were being offered. But there were a large degree of children, and children were Epstein's favorite thing. Young girls, teenagers. That was his thing. And according to Adam Davidson, who was one of the leading reporters on this thing, and I'll get to him in a minute because I'm disgusted with him. He's a guy who knows probably more than anybody about this case. And according to him, Epstein raped three teenage girls a day, every day, for years on end. And had people there who participated in all this stuff. And we have a list of people who were definitely part of that world. And they include now. This is the fucked up thing with America right now. If you're if you're on the left, you're just going to say they include Donald Trump, Bill Gates, and Adam Dershowitz, and blah blah blah. If you're on the right, they're going to say they include Bill Clinton and Bill Gates and Adam Dershowitz. They leave out both Clinton and Trump were heavily involved. They were there raping young girls. Presidents of the United States. I could see why the DOJ doesn't want to release this list, but we all know those guys were there. We all know they were part of it. And again, the partisanship of it. If you're on the left, all you want to bring up is that Trump was there, and Trump was very good friends with Epstein. And if you're on the right, all you want to bring up is that Clinton was there, and Clinton was very close with Epstein. Both of these guys are dirty as fuck. and people committing suicide. Now, in Arkansas, Bill Clinton's home state, not that he's running things there anymore. A close consultant of Jeffrey Epstein was found hanging in a tree with a shotgun blast in his neck, and his partner, just 2 days ago, was found at the bottom of a lake with an extension cord tied around her ankle and the other end of it tied around a rock, intentionally drowned. The media doesn't cover that at all. So here we are, we years into this thing, since Epstein was first exposed by Julia Brown, I think it is, from Miami Herald. Years after that, she uncovered this story. Years after he went to house arrest for these crimes in Miami, which is unbelievable that he would get an ankle bracelet and be allowed to come and go as he pleased from jail to home. Years after that, nobody has really paid the price for any of this stuff. And basically, we're ignoring it, and we're putting our energy and intention fucking Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Like, that's an important trial. Admitted Jeffrey Epstein to the White House at least 17 times. Clinton did 17 times. Um, Family of Clinton advisor to block the release of his death. This guy Mark Middleton, who served as a special assistant to Bill Clinton. Uh, he was welcoming Epstein to the White House. Mark Middleton died by suicide at the age of 59 on May 7th in the custody of Arkansas Sheriff Perry County, Arkansas Sheriff's Office. Middleton was President Clinton's special advisor who admitted Jeffrey Epstein to the White House of at least 17 times on the pedophile visited the White House. The married father of two who lived in Little Rock, Arkansas, shot himself in the chest while hanging. I don't know. 30 miles away from his home. Well, I thought he was in the custody of the sheriff's office. Oh no, the sheriff's office confirmed he was not in custody of the sheriff's office. So this is a whole different guy. Who's the guy who hung himself who killed himself in prison? It was just last week, and there's so many stories coming out. It's hard to keep track of them right now. So that's another one that just crossed my search engines about this stuff. Now I'm going to be on a list for searching about this stuff. But it's curious enough that Musk asked why leaking the DOJ won't spill Epstein's client list. Doesn't that seem odd? Of course, it seems odd. I mean, they can leak anything. Everything gets leaked in government. I mean, before it's supposed to be out, all sorts of information gets out, but not that. I don't know. It's very fucking frustrating. Yeah, Epstein was a bipartisan. Good morning, Craig. Bipartisan trafficker, and you know what? This is something I've said repeatedly. I don't know where it came up, but recently is that perverts. Oh, it's probably in the pornography discussion. Yeah, I think it was. Perverts don't care about what part. If you're deranged, if you're sick, if you're mentally ill in a sexually perverted way, your politics don't come into that. So then basically, there are perverts in the Republican Party, there are perverts in the Democratic Party, heaps of them, heaps of them. As I don't, it's fucked up that both parties want to play this game of, oh look, you got pedophiles. Oh, you all got fucking pedophiles. You all got fucking crazy crooks, fucking greedy thieves, and perverts. All of it, rapists, perverts, whatever you want to call them. Our government is filled with them. And so that's part of why this list isn't coming out. And we don't need a list. We need them to go after fucking people and start holding people accountable. The thing is, I know people who've been persecuted because over petty, and I'm not excusing it, petty stuff like like groping. Now, groping is a serious thing, and Christina, I mean no disrespect to you, but it just brought up to mind. I know people who've gone to jail for that, been accused of it. Now, probably they should absolutely should be held accountable for touching somebody, but like grabbing somebody's ass in a supermarket or something, people go to jail for that. If you don't have money, go rape a 13-year-old girl 3 times a day if you have money and nothing happens to you. That seems a little unequal. Grab an ass, in the old days, you just get smacked and you get your ass kicked by somebody. And I think that's fair retribution. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not in the woman's shoes. Hey, listen, I've been groped, but as a guy, I've never had any fear that it would go beyond the woman just grabbing my junk or whatever. But like if a guy grabs a woman or touches her inappropriately, the uh, the sentence should be an ass kicking by her boyfriend or friends of hers or whatever, and she can turn around, smack him, and then a couple of guys take him out and give him a good beating. That's the end of it. He probably won't do it again, and if he does do it again, um, again, or even worse, beating next time. That kind of stuff. But when it comes down to actual rape, if you got enough money, you got enough power, forget about it. It's only a kid. Who cares? It's fucking sickening. And it's gone right down the line. So Epstein is back in the news today, and been back in the news for about a week now. But back in the news in a bad way. The news is that nobody's ever going to be held accountable. Jizzy sentenced to life. What's happening with her? She's not spilling the guts on anybody because of fear. I want to talk about this Adam Davidson guy because he came out on Twitter with a long thread. Uh, and Adam Davidson is a journalist who's covered this stuff pretty deeply. But I want to make sure here's a list of people who flew on the Lolita Express. Donald J. Trump, Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., uh, violinist Isaac Perlman, Senator John Glenn, uh, Majority Leader George Mitchell, former Majority Leader George Mitchell. So that's a pretty high list right there, but there's a lot more than that. There's, Adam Dershowitz. There are a lot more than that. A lot more than that. I don't have them on the top of my head right now. But this Adam Davidson guy, journalist who came out and he wrote this really long thread about what he knows, and he was being vague. And this is where it pisses me off. This guy claims to know, to have evidence, to be absolutely clear about a number of crimes that he knows were committed, but is keeping silent out of fear. That's cowardice. Because he's older than me, and even if he wasn't older than me, even younger than me, even um, I don't know, if he was 30, I'd rather put my life on the line, get taken out for fucking doing the right thing for justice, than to be a coward and say, "I'm afraid. I know about all these young girls getting raped, but I'm afraid for my own personal safety, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to put out hints." And that's what Adam Davidson did. And this fucking pisses me off almost as much as Epstein pisses me off. He says, whenever Jeffrey Epstein's name comes up, I'm reminded by some people on Twitter that many don't know the basics. His crimes were not hidden. They weren't secret. He brought 14-year-old girls to dinner parties, scientific gatherings, galas. They would sit on his knee. Simply, Bill Clinton was on flights with Epstein and and these teenagers. His home in Palm Beach had nude photos of teenagers on the wall and offered nude teenagers sunbathing. They didn't directly participate in the crimes; they witnessed them. When they didn't directly participate in the crimes, witnessed them. So all these guys, and he's calling out these guys as cowards for not exposing what they saw. Meanwhile, he's not exposing what he saw and what he knows. And he's dancing around this thing, and it's just disgraceful. It's like admitting, here I am telling you I'm a fucking coward. Sorry, I'm a little pissed off about it, as you can tell. Uh, but you got Bill Gates talking about there were dinners. Oh well, I took a few dinners with Epstein. No, you fucking flew to his island with fucking naked teenagers fucking serving you as like waitresses and whatever. If you visit a childless acquaintance's house and there were teenage girls all around, some naked, some sitting on his lap, would you stay? If you saw respected members of your community enjoying festivities, would you continue to respect them? No. This is Adam Davidson writing this. But I also would not respect a journalist who says, I know, but I'm afraid to tell you. And so we come into this week, and now the next big thing. I said Uncle Bill. Who's Uncle Bill? I got Clinton. I mentioned. Good morning, Kat. I didn't see all these people join, and Dean. How are you, Dean? Good to know you got some gigs coming up. Good to see your mood is improving. I'm happy for you. I truly am happy for you that things are looking up for you. I hope you stay on this upward tangent for a while. Forever, actually. I hope you stay there. Anyway, Bill Gates. Yeah, I thought I mentioned Gates. But Gates said you know, he took dinners with Epstein. No, you went to fucking Pedo Island with him. You went to whatever the place is called, New Mexico with him. Whatever. You fucked little girls, you lying piece of shit. Your wife left you for it. Good coffee. I'm just getting wound up here. If you missed it earlier, please spread the word. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna feel this morning show going. Feeling a little frustrated with it, but new feature I'm adding. I will call in sick for you. Anybody who wants to call in sick, but sometimes people get a little nervous about. I'll call in. I'm saying I'm your doctor, and you can't come to work today because we found out you got monkeypox or whatever you want me to say. So I will do that for you. And that's a new feature we're adding. I'll call your job and call you in sick if you want. If you know anybody who needs that service, and I'm also thinking maybe I should just call random companies and call in sick. Places I don't work at, and just say, this is Jose, the dishwasher. I won't be able to make it in today. I've got a really bad cough, a fever of 103. Um, I'm thinking about doing that. I'm not doing that. Uh, Craig says his arm's length association cost billion. Yeah, arm's length. Yeah, penis length in his divorce. Yeah. You know what? Money. I guess. Um, maybe I'll do that now. I want to get off the whole Epstein thing. But before I wrap up the Epstein thing here. Now, and most people know, the January 6th commission is going live prime time with hearings this week because the DOJ is afraid to go after Trump directly. So the committee is going to embarrass the DOJ by putting out the information they have on national television starting Thursday night at 8 p.m. and then again Monday or is it Tuesday the 13th, whenever that is, in the morning, 10 a.m. I'm just looking it up. I think it's Monday. So they're going on national television. Fox is not covering it, but how's that tie into Epstein? Um, the Democratic Party, who is the ruling party in Congress, has chosen the producer who originally decided not to air the Epstein story to produce this fucking hearing thing. Like it's a Hollywood fucking production or something. Now that just gives the other side a whole lot of fucking the Democrats are tied to Epstein fireworks. And so here we go again. The guy who was in charge of not covering up, killing a story, spiking the story about Epstein, not airing the stories on Epstein, not putting that in the news. The guy who's responsible for that is bringing you or producing the January 6th hearings that will be on prime time, like it's a fucking show. Do you feel like the people don't matter at all in this country? It's all about these fucking. It's a soap opera between rich and powerful. We live in a fucking fantasy soap opera world where none of us matter at all, and least of us children who are and female children who are props, items to be used and thrown away. Allergies starting to kick in. You can hear me with the stuffy nose, man. I got a stuffy nose. Anyway, maybe I should take just a quick second to run a commercial and get rid of this stuff, sneeze it out. Perhaps I'll do that, and I'll be right back. And then maybe I'll make a phone call to a local business and call in sick. We'll see. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna run my commercial here while I clean out my face. This episode is brought to you by Koa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, and delivered from Hawaii to your door with aloha. From award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui, they strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee. It's a shame. I'm not there. Where was I? I was missing. I was looking for numbers to call where I could call in sick. Um, Maybe I'll get to that just a little bit later because the happy girl is with us now. It's time to get happy. I could use a little freaking happiness. I'll tell you right now. I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna get happy. Come on, get happy. Everybody sing with me. Everybody in the chat room, come on. Sing so loud that I can hear you. I don't hear shit. All right. Oh, I'm not happy. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm feeling burnt out. I'm feeling like I'm not feeling the morning show so much anymore. Feeling angry. I got up. Well, I have another comedian scheduled for today, and he's one of these guys who has nothing online about him. Zero. He's got a Facebook page that has 2 gigs listed. It looks like he started, like, within the last 3 years. But if I Google him, Google says, like, "That's not even a name. What are you talking about?" Google laughs at me if I do a search on him.
Wow.
I put in comedy and all this stuff. So I don't and I guess if I were a real producer of a real show, I could contact the guest in advance and say, "Give me a bio, give me something to work." But I'm a lazy fucking bastard. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm not.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so
Right.
that doesn't happen. So it falls through the cracks. And now I got a guy coming on at 10 o'clock. I can't even pronounce his name.
What is it?
Muyle. That's his first name. How would you pronounce
Muley?
that? Muley?
Muile.
Well, see, you're not really that Italian, are you? Because in Brooklyn Italian, where if you said that word to your father, call your father up and say, "Muley's going to be on the show." See what he says. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Uh, um,
Why? What does it mean?
it is the East New York equivalent of the N word. It's kind of shortened from something longer than that, but I don't
Oh,
even
I
want to
know.
say it.
I know what it is.
Yeah. And
Oh.
they say that all no, I don't think I think it's like Moyle, but it could man, I got myself deep now. Uh, but no, so I can't pronounce his name.
What's his last name?
Gosher or Gosher. Muley Gosher.
Oh, so okay, that
I'm
sounds
being
like a
careful not
Jewish
to say it
name.
like you said it. Muley. You would think so, but his face page is nothing but Christmas stuff.
Oh. Oh, all right. Well,
I know
I don't
us
know.
Jews celebrate Christmas though. That's
Huh?
what who are you yelling at? You were yelling at people.
No, I wasn't.
You did. You just muted the phone and looked over there and said, "Ah!" I saw you. So, yeah, so I don't know. So I'm in a bad mood, but tomorrow Jackie's back and my mood will lift. But I was kind of mentioning earlier how people in the creative arts are I don't know if you are, but I am moody as I felt like quitting the band 1,000 times over the last 22 years. I did it a few times, but it
Mhm.
comes and goes. My enthusiasm for whatever I'm working on. If things aren't going, all it takes is a couple of bad gigs in a row,
Mhm.
and I feel like giving up.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
do you get that?
I think everybody gets that way. It's called discouraged.
I don't know if it's discouraging. Yeah.
I think that yeah, it happens. I mean,
William says you have parental Tourette's. Parental Tourette's. That's what that yelling was.
oh me. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I
I think
try
all
to
parents get that. That's part of the.
yeah, I try to keep it to a minimum, but some days it's just constant flow
Yeah.
out of my mouth.
Well, the friend, the comedian is early. He's in the back room now, and I'm not going to bring him in just yet because I want to get to this segment of happy news, and then somewhere in between, when I let you go, I'll bring him in because he's way early. It's like 25 minutes early, which is good,
Yeah,
and it's really early for him because I think he's on the West Coast. I say I think because I don't really
because
know.
you don't know.
I don't really know. Uh, but yeah, so I was on a rant this morning about all I'm pissed off about. Um,
Okay. Okay.
Jeffrey Epstein stuff. You know about
Why? What?
Epstein.
Yeah, of
Yeah, of
course.
course.
And
Yeah,
no
everybody knows
one
him.
was brought to
But
justice. Is that why?
another associate of his was found committed suicide in
Oh
jail.
yeah.
No
Okay.
security cameras. And the guards only do periodic checks on this guy, so he wasn't on suicide watch. And there's been so much in the last week that I lost that article. I wanted to read that, but that guy, He was a close consultant and associate of Epstein directly. He was found committed suicide. Bill Clinton's guy who introduced him to Epstein was found hanging from a tree with a shotgun blast to his chest, and they could call that a suicide, that he killed himself. Now, I don't know what if you hang yourself first, how you can possibly shoot yourself in the chest with a shotgun. Shooting yourself in
Right.
the chest with a shotgun is really
Right.
freaking hard. Anyway, maybe you
Right.
do it with your foot. I don't know. I don't know if he shot himself first in the chest with a shotgun, how he could get up a tree to hang himself.
Right.
So that's Bill Clinton's home state. This is the guy who introduced him to Epstein. He murdered, but they're calling it a suicide. They're definitely murder. I mean, you can't shoot yourself in the chest with a shotgun and then hang yourself.
Right.
Uh, so that was a murder called suicide. The other guy in jail, and then that guy, the guy hanging in the tree with the shotgun blast, his partner, who was also a very close associate of Bill Clinton, who introduced to Epstein, was found at the bottom of a lake just 3 days ago
Oh.
with a extension cord tied around her ankle and the other end of the extension cord tied around a rock, and they called that a suicide. Like if you're going to drown yourself, you tie your foot. You use an extension cord to tie your foot to a rock. That's a new way of committing suicide. I mean, probably not drowning is not that uncommon, but wouldn't you do it if you're gonna go through that trouble? Wouldn't you do it right? You get a rope, you get an extension cord to tie it to a rock.
Right. Right.
There's that. All other stuff. There's this guy Adam Davidson he's a journalist and he's detailed he's got all the information, but he put out this long list of I know, but I can't say because I'm afraid, and that makes me angry. Because if you're a journalist, first of all, if you go into journalism, you can't
Mm-hmm.
hide behind I'm afraid of my. The point of being a journalist is you have to be brave. You have to be willing to go out, and that's your job. It's like
Right.
being a cop and being afraid to go in to save children. What are we hearing? Crying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I can't hear crying. I'm gonna get sad. I'm gonna cry. No. What am I crying about, by the way?
um. Nothing really.
All right.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's me. See, she should put her on. Get off my show. You put her on. I'm definitely on her wavelength today. Um.
It's the boy.
Oh.
He's very sad.
Oh. I can't tell the difference between a boy crying and a girl crying.
Yeah. I don't think you could tell that early.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel bad about that. Tell him I'm sorry. I made fun of him anyway, where was I? So the guy who's a journalist, he's hiding behind. I know. He put all this detailed, vague stuff, a long list on Twitter, like a Twitter thread that was it was like a friggin' book. But the bottom line is, I know, but I can't say because I'm afraid.
Right.
Then why do you say anything? Just go friggin' hide somewhere. Don't come out with this. I know. But according to him, one of the things he said was that Epstein raped 3 girls, 3 teenagers a day for years on end. 3 every single day, 3 different ones every single day. So we know about cases of people that came out, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there were really hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of young girls involved. Some of them were not kids. Some of them were in their 20s, but the majority of them were children. And nobody's doing anything about it. We're more back. But you want to see people pay for it. And the reason they're not paying for it is because the guys
For politicians.
not just politicians, they're also billionaires and, Bill Gates and, those kind of people. As long as you got enough money and power.
Yep. Yep.
If I even, I said, because I know people from the music thing who went to jail for in his grocery store. Now, I admit that that's wrong. He should have got his ass kicked. I don't think he should have went to jail for that. I think the punishment for groping a woman should be getting your ass kicked by her boyfriend or people who know her. That should be, and then that's a fair crime, a fair punishment. You get, I mean, not just a smack around, but a real ass kicking. Like, don't ever do that again. Ass kicking. But
Right.
be that as it may, because he was poor, he went to jail. He did 3 months in county lockup for that, for just
Wow.
touching an ass in a grocery store.
Wow.
Meanwhile, if you were rich and famous, you can go rape 3 children a day
Oh gosh.
and nothing happens. No, and people look the other way. If that
They
doesn't
did. They
infuriate you,
distract. They distract, and people become easily distracted. That's why I didn't pay attention to the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. Why do I want to listen to that? I want to listen to the real thing.
people
It's
act like they are getting part of the settlement. Like, like, oh yeah, Johnny won. Yeah, how much is he giving you?
yeah. Was he ever on Epstein Island? Probably. I mean, I feel like they're
Oh
all
no.
in on it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think Hollywood, the idea of Hollywood being involved in pedophilia is over 100 years old. Since the film industry
Yeah.
began. That's and casting couch and young girls, in particular,
Yeah.
teenage girls, have always been a
Yeah.
commodity to be used and thrown away.
Sad.
Yeah,
So
but
sad.
it doesn't seem like we're ever going to do anything about it, which is it's just so fucking frustrating. How do I get up
Because
every morning and kind of try to bring some light and levity and all this stuff when I'm just surrounded with evil getting away with evil? I know you're going to tell me Jesus.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's really hard.
You're going to tell me Jesus. Well,
Right.
yeah, no, not
Excuse me.
yeah,
I swallowed my spit the wrong way.
that happens.
Does that mean that I'm intelligent because the spit went down the wrong pipe? Thank you, body.
Uh,
That was very clever.
uh,
Sometimes I just thank myself.
the other thing, are you on the gig this weekend, Saturday night at the Or?
Yes.
It looks like we have 40% chance of rain out.
40's not bad.
40's not bad.
And we're under that little. Oh, nobody's gonna. Can we? Is there a place to go inside? I think it's cramped in there, but
Yeah, but we could go inside if we were a smaller band. We've gone in when we were a 4-piece, and it was a really tight squeeze. We're 5-piece, and maybe I don't think Bill's on the gig, so that would be good. Well,
I think
5-piece,
we could squeeze. We could do it.
yeah,
We'll just make Mikey sing from the other side of the room. That's
and
all.
then you have to play at the volume that we're talking right now. It has to be like
Yeah, it's
loud
small.
music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like that.
yeah. Do it. And tonight.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. So exit light. I couldn't think of that part.
Exit light.
Exit light,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. So give me some happy news and change my mind so I can bring. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's Guile. I'm gonna
Oh,
Weil.
GUI. I thought
Yeah,
you said MU.
I spelled it wrong. I don't know. Guile. I don't Weil. I don't know. We'll find out.
You think the
I'll
G
ask
is
him.
silent? Guile.
Guile.
GUI. Okay. All right.
Yes, that's it? Okay. Okay. So give
Oh,
me some
really?
happy news. So
Oh,
yeah, so I can get to him already.
okay. Hold on. I thought let me go so I could lay
Do we
down
need
for a
happy
couple
news
minutes.
theme music?
Um.
Come on, get happy. No, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't need any of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. All right. This article is from goodnewsnetwork.org, and this is about how listening to music with a groove actually boosts brain function.
Now, wait, before you even go on further, you have to define what a groove means. Because there are people
Bum,
who
bum, 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 bum,
no,
bum.
no, that's
Oh,
not good enough.
oh.
The group this is a discussion that gets pretty heated in the music groups. People talk about groove and what actually groove means, and uh, it's a hard thing to define. But let's just say drums and bass locked together in a hard backbeat way, no syncopation, straight on, boom, 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 that kind of stuff is a
Didn't I
groove.
just do that?
No,
I
you
just
didn't.
did that.
You
I
didn't
just
you
did
didn't give
that.
me the preface of drums and bass locked in and no syncopation, straight on backbeat driven. Go ahead. Tell me the story.
Whatever. All right.
Music
So let me
music
let
with a
me
groove.
let me read this. Sorry. Dancing to musical rhythms is a universal human activity, but now researchers from Japan have found the musical. Wait, we read that. Like, wait, hold on. Let me get into some good stuff. Um,
Researchers
music.
in Japan, they don't know groove. Go ahead. I'm
The
sorry.
University of Skatuba. No,
No.
Scuba. All right, we're not going to say that again. Have
We're
revealed.
not.
No,
So racist.
it's not. That's how they talk. Music that elicits the sensation of groove, a rhythm that induces the sensation of wanting to move to the music, can elicit feelings of pleasure and enhance behavioral arousal levels. Uh, okay. Here we go. Um, Wait a minute.
Wait, is this getting sexual here? Because when you say arousal, all of a sudden I'm thinking my mind is going in bad places.
Accordingly, in the present study, we conducted brain imaging to evaluate corresponding changes in executive function and measured individual psychological responses to groove music. The results were surprising. Wow. We found that groove rhythm enhanced executive function and activity only in participants who reported that the music elicited a strong groove sensation. Oh, so it's subjective. There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
ew.
Groove is subjective. So if they liked the groove, their brain was working and they got aroused at the same time.
Aroused.
Aroused.
Like Jeffrey Toobin. You don't know who Jeffrey Toobin is.
Whoever that is, yes.
Jeffrey Toobin was the lawyer who worked for CNN. I think he's back on CNN now, but he worked for CNN and they were having a Zoom call and he started jerking off in the middle of a Zoom call.
Wow. Wow.
Must have been listening to groove music.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that's exciting and well, I don't know, happy.
So get your groove on. Put on some
All right,
groove
we'll put some
music.
groove music on, but when you come back for the next segment, I will have some groove music on. I'll have my pants off, and we can talk. All right, I'll
Ah.
see, I'll see you later.
Okay.
Oh boy! All right, Guile Mosher is how you pronounce it, or at least what I'm going with for now. I believe again, folks. No information on him at all. He's like in this witness protection program for comics. I believe he's in the Bay Area. Bay Area could mean anywhere. It could be Sacramento, could be Oakland, for all I know. I would think in San Francisco comic, but I could be wrong about that. Again, he's in like the witness protection program of comedians. Another one, and it's very frustrating for me. Now, if I were a good host with a good producer, I would contact them before and say, give me a little help with this. But no, I think I can handle it. So the night before, I go doing my investigation to see what I can do to highlight this comedian what I'm going to have on in the morning. And then I come up with kaboikas. And then it's early morning and I'm thinking, well, I can't wake him up and say, I don't know anything about your act. I don't know anything about what you do because I can't find anything on the internet. So he's here now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in Guile Mosher to the Mind Dog TV.
Good morning.
Coffee with the dog. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Guile, is that correct?
That's my name. Yep.
Right. Well, I wouldn't know that. I was like Goyle, Guile.
Man, you used a lot of words to say I'm a nobody.
I don't think it. Well, the Facebook page. No.
Oh,
Let me be clear about this. A lot of some of the really good comedians I've had on, and some who are really knocking it dead and having really prominent careers, and just started recently, but are knocking it out and like working 3 or 4 nights. They have no page, no website, no Twitter, and they have a Facebook page too. And it's just like I understand.
Yeah, well, It's because I'm on Instagram. I'm barely on Facebook, so
You're on
I was
Instagram.
surprised I even got hit up to do something like this.
So on Instagram, tell me about that because I don't get Instagram I'm an old guy, obviously.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's why your research stopped at Facebook.
No, Google doesn't know who you are. Google thinks you're in the witness protection program.
Yeah, if you Google my name, my old MySpace comes up, and that's about it.
Yeah. And even if I put comedy in it, like it brings me to comedy clubs and thinks I'm talking about Goshen or something. It's like, what, Goshen?
No, no. I'm my Instagram is Bay Area Comics.
Right. But how does that work? So you post flyers to the gigs there? Is that to where you play there? Is that what happened?
Well, at first I started Bay Area Comics to promote shows. I wasn't going to put my face on it at all. And then, I started it with a friend of mine. And then, as time goes on, they post less and less. And I started posting more and more. And it just became my personal just recently. So now It's just my comedy page,
Do you have a partner with that Bay Area Comics or something? Because there's a picture of you with another comedian.
Yeah, I did. He's still my buddy. We just kind of, he has his own personal page, and now I have mine. So, and I don't feel like changing the name because I already made business cards.
No, I like it. Hey, cool. So the actual area though, you're in San Francisco. You're in Sacramento. Where are you?
I'm in the East Bay. If anyone tells you Sacramento is the Bay Area, they're lying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the Valley, man.
Okay.
They wish.
I get lied to a lot.
I bet.
And I've walked it. I should know. I've walked from San Francisco to L.A. from down.
How the fuck did you do that, man?
I thought we were long story short, as short as I can possibly make it. Back when I was a young man, they used to have ads in the paper. Drive my car across country because people were moving, and they didn't want to pay for transportation for their vehicle, so they let people drive their car. And for people who couldn't afford a plane ticket or whatever, wanted to go to California, you would just drive somebody else's car. So I took a car from Long Island, New York to San Jose, and dropped it off there. And the idea, I was going to LA, but didn't have any way to get there. So we thought we would hitchhike. And, basically we didn't realize that you can't pick up hitchhikers on the Pacific Coast Highway. Nobody did. So we just kept walking and with our thumb out, nobody stops here. Nobody ever picks up hitchhikers.
Last time that happened, somebody got killed.
Right. Well, we didn't know that. We were young and foolish. So we ended up walking. It took days. I can't remember exactly, but we ended up sleeping on the side of the road and that kind of stuff.
Holy shit. You're lucky to have just be doing that for days.
I was considering murdering somebody. It passed through my mind. I found a lawnmower blade, and I thought, the next car comes by, I'm just going to wing it at them. It'll break their windshield. They'll crash. I'll run over. I'll kill the guy. I'll take his car.
Holy shit, dude.
That was going through my mind. Yeah, I hadn't eaten. I've been sleeping in a ditch for 5 days. I was out of my mind, hallucinating. I didn't really sleep, and I was insane.
You're
I had this. I know, it's crazy. I had this thing, and I was like, this guy, and the guy stopped, and he picked us up. He was from Oregon. He didn't know that stop on the Pacific Coast Highway because you could get killed, and he took us the rest of the way.
He also didn't know he was inches away from death.
I know. I never explained it to him either.
How do you find a fucking lawnmower blade?
It was in a ditch on the side of the road. I don't know, because I guess some farmer lost his blade there.
He's hoping for the coincidence that somebody like you would run across it. Hey, that's my lawnmower blade, dude.
Well, and so I mean, I was prone to insane thoughts a lot in my life, but I'm not proud of it. But I don't try to hide it either. I'm not a murderous person. I haven't ever murdered anybody. I never followed through on any murderous intent. I just want to say that.
Good. Well, I'm glad I'm on the opposite coast then.
No, and those days I got in a fight last week for the first time in 15 years, doing something good, doing a good deed. Neighbor was somebody was breaking into a car, and it's a 24-year-old guy. He could have killed me easily if he was a decent fighter or in decent shape for a 20-year-old. But he was robbing trying to break into a car, for a neighbor's car, and I yelled at him. He went to run away, and then I ended up wrestling and getting in a fist fight with him, which at my age you don't want to do. It's just a foolish idea.
Damn.
So tell me about comedy. When did you get started?
I got started in 2018.
2018.
I got off a flight from Las Vegas for work, and my friend at the time, he picked me up, and he took me to this venue in Oakland, and he just told me, he's like, you're gonna be doing a set tonight, and I was like, oh really? And then I told a joke about how some old lady just took a shit on the plane I was on, and how somehow old ladies, they only take a shit like once a month, but every time they get on a plane, it's like it's gotta be right then and there. And fucking no laughs though. No, they did not like that joke. I don't know why, but
well, that's so that was something. This has got me interested now. The lady shitting on the plane, that was a real thing that really happened to you?
Oh yeah, it's still trapped in my olfactory senses, man. It's fucking. I remember exactly what she ate. It's fucking nasty.
Well, I talked about this about a week and a half ago. I think I played at a nursing home. I played music at a nursing home during like 11. And usually the gigs are later, but this was like 11 to 12 or something. And I was doing walk around, where you go around from room to room and play for the people in their rooms. And every old person in the place shit at the same time. I mean, it's like they're on a schedule. Like breakfast comes and then they all shit like their diapers or whatever. And so I'm trying to sing through the reeking smell of shit. I'm gagging on it, and you can't really sing when you're gagging on shit smell. But I think they all shit at the same time. You say,
and now you know not to schedule your events on applesauce night,
right? Or at that time, and actually they asked for another gig, and I said, make it a little later, because I knew.
You gotta air out the fucking place. They can't smell it. They don't even know.
Right? No, and they get used to it. But I don't know how you ever get used to that fucking smell. So your first gig now, how long were you expected to do? You didn't. First of all, he didn't give you any warning. He said, you're doing a set tonight when you had no prepared material. How long were you expected to do?
5 minutes. Easy 5 minutes.
Did you get through the whole 5 minutes? Because that could seem like an eternity.
No, I don't think I did. I think I did like 3 minutes, and I was just like, all right, I'm out.
So how did he know to schedule for had you expressed a willingness to a desire to be a comedian before then to him?
Well, he went up 2 weeks before, and I went to support, and I told him, I've always dreamed of doing stand up. I always wanted to, and then I gave him. I was the guy that I hate. I gave him pointers, having never done stand up.
Oh yeah.
I tried to help him rewrite his jokes, and
that's me. That's what I do every day here on this show. I talk to well, not always, but for the most part, up and coming comics, and I who haven't done it for 30. I did it 3 times 30 years ago. I'm an expert in it.
Yeah. Well, when I just hate when I get off stage and somebody who's never done comedy gives me pointers.
Right.
It just drives me. It's like, and they always say the same thing. They say, work on your delivery. What the fuck does that mean to you, man? Like, delivery. Yeah. Deliver my ass. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a good point, because I was watching some comedians who were good at, they're actors, and they're good at facial expressions, they're good at timing and all this stuff, but what they were saying wasn't really funny. What was making the audience laugh, and I'm not going to name any names, but these are pretty successful comedians. I was watching a couple of specials, and what was triggering the laughter were the kind of things you would see on a sitcom, where the words they were saying were not really funny, the ideas they were expressing were not really funny, but the gesture that set it up or triggered the punchline, it was all about acting, facial expressions, timing, pauses, and so there is a whole art to that. Those people aren't funny off stage, though. Those are people who are not, and they think they are, but they're just they're not that funny. They're
They're
good
not
actors. They're
they're not
trained.
expressing anything, any real opinions or thoughts or beliefs or anything. They're not shining.
Right.
They're not illuminating some truth in the world in a different perspective. Like they're just acting. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
I get you.
great way to put it. Yeah, they have no real point of view, no refreshing angle that's all their own, no real insight. It's just all about taking um, observational humor and just adding theatrics to it,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
people laugh.
I mean, I don't know. They probably laugh out of discomfort.
That
But
too, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can't knock it, but some people just operate that way. They got to learn a script word for word, and like those are the kind of people that like live off of lists. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not everyone's. It's not everyone's cup of tea. And I'm sure I found a lot of those people come from improv. A lot of the
Yeah.
people who act out that kind of stuff, they come from like improv theaters and shit.
Good point. Improv is. I did one a couple of weeks ago, and it was brutal. I embarrassed myself really bad. It was online improv, and I hadn't done improv in again 30, 40 years or so. And somebody challenged me to do it. And what it is a show my friend Zach has, and it's called PowerPoint Showdown, and four guys get to go. Those four guys are regulars on the show. They're there every week, and they invite a mark on somebody like me to make a fool out of themselves. And they present you with a set of slides. You got to give like a TED Talk PowerPoint presentation to slides you haven't seen before and don't really know the topic. So they're just going to show you the slide, and you got to start talking about it and give you a presentation. And so they're all polished at it. They've been practicing it. They do it every week, and theirs were all great. And then mine was just like idiotic. And I was like, oh man, I just wanted to go stick my head in a hole. And
Before I did stand up, I used to go to this improv show all the time where I live, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like a piece of shit because I would hate if I was up there and people were just stone faced like I was, because me and my friend just like we just thought it was so funny to watch these people just like they do the same thing every time. Like everyone has like a default. Like this one guy, every time it got quiet, he would start making a sandwich on the side of the stage, and me and it was so like he would do this with his hand like and it was so just like it made me sick to my stomach. It was so funny. But and then there was one girl who always like there's always like one guy in the group that has like, you ever seen Family Guy? Has like that Family Guy delivery on everything. He's just like enunciates it. It's like, dude. Anyway, but I mean, I can't knock them. I gotta respect, like now doing stand up, I kind of gotta respect that they go up on stage despite entertaining nobody for
absolutely,
weeks. Yeah.
absolutely. I respect everybody who does it, but that doesn't mean I think they're funny. And I'm allowed to. I think I'm allowed to express that opinion because you mentioned sometimes people laugh out of discomfort, and I've seen that. But I've gone to a comedy show. Somebody took me to a comedy show to see a friend of theirs who was going to be on a bill that had like 9 comedians on, and there were like 5 of us at the table, but probably about 40 people in the room on a Thursday night, and every single comic came out, and not one laugh, not even a chuckle. Ever on a single song. I was like, what did I just witness? I felt terrible for the people on stage, and I wanted to manufacture a fake laugh, and I couldn't even find it in me to kind of fake a laugh.
That's fucking
It was
cruel.
just, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find sympathy in my heart when I was going to those fucking things, man. I just want to, dude. I don't know. I don't want them to blow their fucking brains out, but I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they did sometimes. You know what I mean?
I've had
nights
that
like
experience once where I bombed so bad that and it wasn't comedy, it was music. I bombed so bad in front of people that were important to me that I was in that state where not necessarily blowing my brains out, but I never wanted to face I never wanted to leave my house again. I was so friggin' ashamed. Yeah, have you had that experience?
Yes,
really...
I had it last week. Dude, I had it last week, man.
Well, I'm glad you're here and still.
No, dude, I had the barrel in my mouth, man. I was fucking so pissed. I went up at this brewery, right, and and it's a pretty good room, but I don't know. I had a bad set previous to that. And I was just like, man, I just want one good fucking set. I'm recording it. And I start off pretty strong. And then I just start to kind of lose the room. Because, people go to comedy shows and they expect like set up punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline. There's nothing wrong with that kind of comedy. It's just I don't really write jokes like that. I write pretty long form jokes, and my laughs per minute are pretty low. But it's just I just want that one big payoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anyway, so I start off on this concept, and I just start losing the room. And but there was a table right next to me, right? And at first I got on them because I knew they were going to be loud, right? So I got on them, I made a couple jokes, I got their attention, and I lose them, right? And they start just talking during my fucking set. And I get about 5 minutes into my 7-minute set, and I was like, and I don't care about this anymore. Have a good night, guys. Which I know is like, a bad move or whatever, but I was just like over it, There's no bringing them back. And so I got frustrated, and I walked off the stage, and then I go outside, and I ordered nachos at this like thing outside, right? And I told him to hold it until after my set. And anyway, I get my nachos, I sit down at the table, and those fuckers that were at the table next to me talking during my set come out and sit at the table I'm at, and I'm just 1,000 yards staring into my nachos, right? And before I know it, they're sitting around me, and the guy's like, "Is it cool if we sit here?" No, I fucking hate you, dude. You just ruined my shit. I waited all week to be here, and you're ruining my nachos, which sucked, by the way. My nachos were not very good. So my nachos sucked, my set sucked, and you people fucking suck. And I got up and I was like, I'm gonna go enjoy the show. And they all just like, they were so dead silent, dude. It's like, how do you not know what you're doing, man?
Yeah.
But,
Wow.
I don't know.
They were totally oblivious to the fact that they ruined
Totally fucking oblivious. Well, people go to that's what I hate about bars is like people go to bars to get pussy. They don't want to listen to comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I kind of address that. I always have this joke I do at bars. I go bar regulars. I was like, how come dudes always think when they're being loud? I always go, how come dudes always think that in order to get pussy at a bar, you got to be the loudest one there? It's like all you got to do is be the last one.
Right.
I don't know why you'd show up to my comedy show at 9 o'clock when all you got to be. You only got to be here at 2 a.m. when they fucking close down. And if you strike out, she'll be here tomorrow.
That's absolutely true. I got hip to that when I was a young single man. At some point, I decided it was too early to go to the bar. Wait until 1:30. That's when we'll leave the house.
Just fucking scoop up the last fatty in the bar, and you'll be good, man.
Right.
You don't have to hang out all night.
I won't be bombed when I'm making my pitch, so I'll be the most fit one there to make the sale.
Well, she'll be so drunk she won't remember your first pitch. You could just turn around and come back and fucking say it again. She won't remember your ass.
William Conway, who is a seasoned pro, he's got this piece of advice. That's when the use of hack jokes come into play. Hack jokes are intended to win back the crowd with an easy laugh. I don't know what an example of a hack joke is, but Norm would do that a lot. Norm Macdonald would do that a lot. Just go back to joke book, stupid, like ridiculous joke. He'd always make it his own, though.
It's hard to do that when you're resisting the urge to bury your fucking thumbs in somebody's eyes. You know what I mean?
I know. Believe me.
No.
Yeah, I've had in music. I've had similar experiences where just people were just oblivious to how they were fucking things up for not just me on stage, but everybody in the room. You're ruining the experience for everybody by being so, I don't know, not observant of the room you're in. That just
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I try not to let it bother me. It's just, last couple of weeks have been difficult for some reason, but I had a fucking awesome set yesterday and I killed it for like 10 minutes straight, and then that's all you need to get back on top. It's just one little success.
No doubt about it. I said that this morning. This is how I started the show today because I was like, I don't know how much longer I want to do this fucking show, this morning show, because I've had a couple of bad ones in a row. Yesterday, my guest didn't show up and he gave me the, I overslept. My phone was off. If you want to reschedule stuff. And it's like, no, you made me talk for an hour and a half about crap without having anybody to talk to. And then I get Kiera on here who she wants to convert me into a born again Christian. And like, So that was yesterday's program on a comedy network, on Gov's Comedy Network. It's not the show I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? And I know I'm a moody bastard. And all it takes is a couple of shows like that to get me to want to just fucking give up. Just give up. But then one good show, and I'm enjoying this conversation. So after today's show, I'm probably going to be like, yeah, I can't wait to do the next show. That's all it takes is just one to turn it around. But then all it's going to take is one bad show again. Oh, no, one or two in a row. And I'll be like, fuck this. I don't want to do
Well, that's because God put me here and he wants me to tell you not to give up.
All right. So let's pray. You want to pray? Wait,
yeah.
first we got to take our pants off.
Grab my prayer stick.
Yeah. You said something in the private chat before about when we were talking about Johnny Depp. You said not even Depp is getting the settlement. What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Because she fucking, I don't know.
She's got no money to pay it off.
She got no money, man. What the? Yeah. Yeah,
you think she'll ever work again? Because that Aquaman 2, there was a whole and I'm the pop culture idiot. I don't give a fuck either. Dude, but if I were waiting for her to pay money, I would want her to get that role now. If I were him, I'd be trying to help her get
Dude,
work.
Honestly, I wish they would have just murder-suicided each other so I wouldn't have to hear about it anymore.
That would be cool. You'd hear about it. It'd
be more interesting to forget that headline than it is to hear about the trial.
I hate to be a morbid son of a bitch, because you're absolutely right. That would be a story I would be really interested in. I would follow that on the news big time.
Fucking what a way to make somebody who never hit you want to hit you.
Right.
Dragging them through the fucking court.
Yeah, good point.
He should have just hit her and got it over with, man.
Yeah.
Smack her.
Well, you know, I've been a battered man.
I'm sorry, man.
I know, but I've been with maybe, and I think I think Johnny, and I don't even really want to make this about him, but that was the thing. But I know guys like me, when I did it, I deserved it, because I was going for this younger women who really were death traps. If you're a guy in your 40s or 50s and you're with a 20-year-old girl or a girl in their 20s or even early 30s, you have to expect that they're broken. Why would they be with a fucking old man like you if they weren't broken in the first place?
Yeah, dude, beating yourself down.
So I had a woman punch me in the face.
You're a victim.
She wanted, just trying to get me to react, and I wouldn't do it, and that made her even madder. So punch me in the face, and it's like, that kind of triggers you where you want to hit back, but you realize it's a woman and you don't.
I got a number you can call.
Yeah. Battered man.
Holy shit.
I know. And I would go for the same kind of woman every time. Like, I could pick them out. Like, I'd go be in a club and there'd be 100 women. I have make a beeline for the one that's the most fucking broken, and
the one that's already hitting another guy.
Right. And, yeah.
The one with the bruised knuckles.
Oh, that looks attractive to me.
She's got a leather jacket and a switchblade.
Yeah.
You just get a boner.
Yeah. So how often are you working now? Are you hitting like a regular at open mics, or what do you do?
Well, I've been hitting mics. Man, I try to get on everyone I can. It's just I live in the East Bay, so there's not a whole lot going on out here. And but I try to hit them at least 3 times a week. There's some nights I do 2 in one night, but they're just mics. But my real shit is I organize my own shows. 2019 I did a shitload of them, and then 2020 came and I couldn't get a fucking venue, and then 2021 same thing, and now I'm finally like kind of starting back up and getting back into it. But
but yeah, your own venues now. We talked about bars, and bars are places where people go to get pussy, not to hear comics. And yeah. I guys think that's like the hardest fucking gig for a comedian. As a musician, I can be in the background while people talk, and that you're there for that. But comedy, they have to be listening to the words you're saying. So I would never pick bars. Are you, when you put on shows, are you picking places that are more conducive to having comedy in it? Like, I don't know, coffee clubs? I don't know.
Well, so I don't know if you ever heard of, I forget what it's called. I think it's called the Opera House Paradigm or some shit like that. Basically, when like if the whole concept is if you see somebody in a subway playing a violin, you probably think like you don't think anything of it, right? It's just some guy. But if you take that same guy and you put him in like an opera house or like Madison Square Garden and the place is sold out, everyone's tuning in. They're all there to hear that guy and they're always going to think he's good, right?
Right.
So my whole, I learned that a while ago that I could book a comedy show anywhere and the only people showing up are people that bought tickets and therefore they're there to to see comedy. And
Good
so
point. Yeah.
I always I try to book I tried to book them in the weirdest places I could. But the best ones I had were in a warehouse at a winery, and we called it Between the Barrels, and I did 2 of them in 2019. And we opened up the warehouse, like we split the barrels in half. You know how they in a winery they have like the big,
Yep.
and then those were awesome. We sold them out. It was only like 120 people, but for that space, that's a shit ton. And they were all there to laugh, and they were all drunk, and it was a really good show. And but every place I go, I try to like market it as much as I can. Like I always act like it's my biggest show, and it usually
It
draws a
is.
pretty good crowd. And
It is your biggest show. Your next show is always your biggest show. I don't
exactly.
care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your next show is always, you shouldn't be ashamed to just be fucking blasting it everywhere and telling everyone about it. And that's the only way you can get people to show up. And when they do show up, they're there to see you. They're there to see comedy. And that's
Right.
how you get a good crowd. I mean, that, but
Yeah. But to your point, there was an actual violinist who did the subway thing. Carnegie Hall. He was at Carnegie Hall that night, but that day he was in the subway in New York City, and they had a video camera on him, and people just walking by him. Occasionally, somebody throw a coin in his case, but keep walking. And this guy was like, top of the line Carnegie Hall, like celebrated violinist. He was at and sold out Carnegie Hall that night. It just goes to show you people do. The venue makes a difference, and the fact that they paid to see you absolutely makes a difference on whether they're going to appreciate your art. I always said that about because a lot of bands give away their CD. Here it is, giving it away. I said, you know what's up? No, that's going to be a drink coaster. They're never even going to put it in the CD player because you give it to them, it has no value. If they spend their hard-earned money for it, they're going to play it and enjoy it. So,
or if they discover it on their own,
right,
they're always going to appreciate. Like I don't know if you ever done this, but like when you send a video to a friend and they never fucking watch it.
Yeah.
But they'll find the same video like a couple months later and send it to you and be like, dude, you got to see this.
Right.
And you're like, dude, I sent that to you months ago. And they're like, oh, it's like they trust the algorithm more than they trust their own friend to like experience something new. But yeah, it's
I actually had that with a good friend of mine recently. There was a video we did. I'm not really in the video. Another friend of mine is in the video. A singer who was with me is in the video, and he's dancing around with this guy, big fat guy, and they all taking off their shirt and dancing together at this birthday party and falling down and shit. And I happen to have it on video. I sent it to him. I sent it to him 9.5 years ago when I took it, and then I knew he never watched it because 3 weeks ago I posted it online to somebody, and he goes, "Oh, that video with Mikey dancing with the guy, that was great." I was like, "Dude, I sent that to you when I took it, the day after I took it." He goes, no, yeah, I know I did. I still have the receipt of it in my emails.
Or what's worse is when you show them a video on your phone or their phone or whatever, you look it up, and then they tap the screen to see how long it is.
Right, yeah.
Like you can't sit down for 3 minutes for this shit. Like,
yeah.
Fucking people suck, man.
As far as playing weird venues, wineries I don't think are weird venues. I think that's a great venue, an unused, under-tapped resource for comedians.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, by weird venues, like I did a deli. I used to do a deli like every other week, and they were fucking awesome shows. It's a small space, but you fill it up, and people are fucking like they love it, man. They go nuts at those shows.
Deli means something different in the East Bay area than it means in New York. In New York, you could not do it because delis are often like as wide as this the screen is right now, and you just walk in.
Packed.
There's a counter.
You know,
Give me a tuna sandwich, and then you're out.
actually, you know what's funny is this deli is the guy who owns it. His name's Luigi, and he's from Albania, but he runs it like it's like a New York deli. Like it's actually pretty cool, but he has like a big area in the front that's like it's got a stage and all that stuff. And I love the guy. He's awesome, but his whole thing. And I mean, I've never been to a deli in New York, but this shit's pretty legit, man. I don't know.
Well, there's different kinds of delis, but most of them don't have tables or anything. It's just really a counter, and that's it. And you can and a refrigerator where you can go get your own drink, and a coffee machine. But there's nothing in it, and it's usually really crowded, and you're like waiting online for 15 minutes for a sandwich,
and if they fuck up your order. If they fuck up your order, you got to shut up about it. Eat it.
And everybody's angry. Everybody in the place is angry because they've been waiting too long. It's a horrible experience.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So now I thought I saw something because your day job was like an iron worker. Do I have that correct?
Oh, yeah. How'd you find that shit? Oh,
I'm a detective. No, that's all I know about you. I know how to mispronounce your name, and I know you got some experience in iron work. The reason I'm even asking for that, it seemed like you're going back and forth to Vegas a little bit. No, or do I?
Oh, no. I only went to Vegas one time, and it was for work. And
somebody had like a show listed in Vegas on your Facebook page, and I was like, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, they probably just tagged me, and I didn't. You know, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was in construction for 2 years. I just left because the show was so unstable.
But for comedy's sake, are you branching out from the East Bay area? Because I say this a lot just to piss Kiera off because she is a born again. I just say, Jesus wasn't a hit in his hometown. He had to leave. he had to branch out a little bit to kind of get a following. Are you branching out from that area or not?
I'm trying. I did do a show in Reno last year. Now that I think about it, and but I've done shows in SAC and stuff like that. Anyone that'll book me, I fucking go. Because if I can go to a show that I didn't put any effort into to produce, I'm super down, dude. I just want to go up and kill it.
I hear that. I kind of settled into that. I used to be the business of the band I'm with now for 22 years. I was the manager business guy. I was the guy who put it all together. And I left for a couple of years. And when I came back, the lead singer had taken it over, and I was happy with that. I said, you know what? This is so much easier. I don't deal with any of the bullshit. I just show up at the gigs and play and get paid and go home.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that being in charge. But when you're starting out, you do have to kind of be a hustler and kind of create your own opportunities and stuff like that.
For sure, especially if you want a good crowd. But the shitty part is every time I produce a show that's like, that I've had to promote, or that's like really, like those Between the Barrels ones, I fucking bomb. I suck so bad because I'm like, I'm in a totally different mindset.
I know it.
And I'm so pissed off. And comedians like are like little fucking babies. You gotta they don't first comedians don't want to promote anything. They don't want to do that. They want to wake up, right? Maybe take a shower, fucking head out to the venue, crush it, get their gas money, and go home having done nothing. And they want a good crowd, and they want it to be full, and they don't want to do shit, which is whatever, because they're not making all the money or whatever. What I mean? I get it, but it's like I don't know. Like I've had shows where I tell the comedians, I'm like, look, if you get a bunch of people here, I can pay you more. And that's still nothing to them. They don't give a fuck. And, but yeah, they're like little babies. You gotta fucking like channel, like, when am I going up? What's my order? What, how much? It's like, dude, I have a list. I already showed it to you. Just fucking wait, I don't know.
Right. I hear what you're saying. I was, at a show where there was a national headliner on, and one of the opening acts for him was a woman who definitely looked like she didn't shower that day, but she didn't. She was wearing pajamas. The top she had on had a stain on it and a hole in it. It's like you're on a major stage in front of a national headliner, and you don't even bother putting on a decent top. Wearing pants.
Fuck, man. I just met a comedian who was really nice, and he was funny as fuck. Really nice guy. at a pretty big show. And he looked like he did not look very good. And turns out he just had a DUI and he spent the night in jail. Fucking, I was
Uh,
like,
all right,
dude,
that
are you
that
good?
gets more respect from me. I'm like, okay, you're a lifer. You're
Yeah, you
you're
made
the
it
real
work.
deal.
Yeah, and some old lady asked him if he needed a ride after the show. That it was fucked up. And then the
Yeah,
funny part is, a couple weeks before that, I met a comedian who was a lawyer, and he gave me his card, right? And this guy, and then fast forward to that show, the guy who just got the DUI, he's all, does anyone know a lawyer? And I was like, yeah. And I fucking gave him the card. I was like, here, man, call this guy. I don't know. He's a
I don't know
comedian.
how
Tell him who
good a
that means.
lawyer he is. He's a comedian, so maybe that works for in his favor in a
Hey,
courtroom.
I can't pass the bar. Fucking-
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't
So
know their GPA or whatever.
when you're if you're going to produce a show, 'cause I'm curious about this because I know guys who work both ways on this idea. Sometimes they're going to put a bunch of comedians on or artists on in music cases where they know they're not that good to make themselves look better, and other times other guys have the idea that I'm going to get as much really great talent so that even if I bomb, it's still a good show. Do you subscribe to either one of those ideas? I'm just going to find a bunch of acts so I
I
look
don't
really good.
I don't know. That's kind of a scummy thing to do.
I
Man.
know it is, but it happens, and it happens a lot.
No, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel bad when people give me money. So when people pay me, I want to give them the most I can. And like usually if I'm lacking in quality, I make up for it in quantity. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
like I've had shows with like 15 comedians on, and it's like it goes by pretty quick actually. Or they go on, actually I don't know, they go on pretty long, but yeah, I've had shows with like lots of comedians, and but no, I try to find the best people I can, because I want people to come back. You
I
know what I
get it.
mean?
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's
but
a good attitude and principle to live by. Now, do you have a couch there that you could lay down? Because I think we need to do a little psychoanalysis on you about this thing where you feel bad about getting money.
well, no, it's just like I mean, I hate when I don't get my money's worth. You know what I mean? And
No,
so
I
I
know.
had this huge like complex to just make sure people get the best show possible. And I don't know. I'd rather them walk out because the show is too long than walk out because it sucks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
So
no, but as an old person, I can tell you that this deal with money has cursed me my whole life. I feel guilty about taking money sometimes because I look around the room and I'm trying to justify my pay there, and I look at if a restaurant, I'm like counting heads. I'm like, how much money is this guy making? At the end of the day, he's got overhead, he's got the waitresses to pay for, he's got the bartenders to pay for, and how many people are showing up here? And I know what he's paying me. If I'm getting paid $500 or something, I'm thinking, wow, this guy, he's not even making a dime tonight, and I feel
yeah.
bad about that. And then when it comes to asking for the money, I'm like ready. I'm offering him, listen, if you don't want to pay me the full thing, like it's, I feel guilty about it. Fucked up.
Hey, I do my part. I don't drink at the venues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't either. I brought that up in the past to bar owners who were at the end of the night were giving us a hard time about, well, you don't do so good tonight, and I'd be like, well, we didn't drink it all. Most bands would have got their pay in drinks by now.
Yeah. Seriously.
There was a time when the band did. I never did. I never was a someone who took advantage of the free drinks for the band. And most of the places now they give you one free drink and then you have to pay for all the drinks after that. Which, you know what, that's petty.
Yeah.
Band, if as long as the band's not getting or the comedians not taking advantage of it and getting like stone drunk on it and bringing up a $250 bar tab or something like that, you should overlook it no matter what.
Yeah. I don't.
Uh,
I never drink at the clubs, man. I don't want to be a burden. You know what I mean? And then I
right.
found out that that's actually a thing. I didn't know that was a tip.
Oh yeah.
I heard that from Ralphie May on like this video he did. It was like an hour and a half long. It was like a stand-up class or whatever, and he talks about like making it in clubs. He's like, don't drink don't drink your free drinks or whatever. I don't know. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm on the right track.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Ralphie May, who are your comic heroes? You got
Oh man, honestly, it's a hard one. I'd say Patrice O'Neill and probably Louis C.K.
Wow. Now I commend you for saying Louis C.K. because
Yeah.
anytime you bring up his name, it's like, can I even say
Who
it?
doesn't like to jack off in front of people? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'd rather someone watch
I
me
don't.
too.
I try to separate the art from the artist, and no matter what you think, whether that's too kinky for you or whatever. Listen, I've been a lot more. If I'm being honest,
I don't know.
in my life, I've done worse than that.
Dude, I wouldn't admit that on here, man. I don't know.
I do. I don't care.
Some of the ladies said he asked and some didn't. So I kind of lean towards at least he asked. You know what I mean?
Right. And no, but the fact is that, not even about him, but it's just the reaction that his name gets in some circles now.
Mhm.
And I have had people get angry at me because I still think Dave Chappelle is funny, and I'll say I don't think he's as funny as he used to be, and I do think he's become more of a lecturer than a comedian. His shows, in an hour-long show, you might get 3 or 4 really hard laughs, as opposed to when he was younger. If he did an hour show, you'd be laughing the whole time.
Oh yeah.
But I still think he's funny, and for me to say that has cost me friends because, oh, how can you support him? You know what's really bizarre to me? Norm Macdonald, who I love. Norm is one of my comic heroes.
Same here. I love him.
He did this not so special, before he thought he was going to die or whatever. He did this thing from home, and he's saying the same stuff that Chappelle said, basically about trans stuff. In my day, a boy had a cock, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but nobody, and partially because you can't cancel a dead guy, but he
Yeah.
was saying that kind of stuff when he, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say Dave Chappelle's not funny. I think like his recent stuff it's just kind of, like you said, it's more of a lecture, and like, maybe it's just not my thing anymore. But like I've always loved Dave Chappelle, but yeah, you're right. It is kind of a lecture, and I like when he first got flack for his comments on like trannies or trans people and shit. It was just something he mentioned. You know what I mean? It was just something he said. And
I don't
now
think he's a hatey guy. I don't think he's full of hate for them.
I wouldn't even care if he was like, whatever, man. You have your beliefs. I don't care, man. But like now his whole set is about it. It's like so it's like they won. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if you have to address it in every set, he won. And then also the special he did after the one he got flack for it felt like an apology tour. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, so it just wasn't for me. But I mean,
and now the thing is, people will just watch it just to find something to get angry about. Like they're not even, if somebody did that to me, and I know Kiera is in the back room, she has she doesn't like Daniel Tosh, but she doesn't watch Daniel Tosh now because she knows she doesn't like him. It's not like she's gonna, he's got, let me go see what Daniel Tosh has that I can make a big stink out of it and get on a soapbox and make other people hate him. I just don't watch him.
Yeah, and on the other hand, people watch him to find something to agree with, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say I disagree with the shit he says, because I don't, but it's like, even somebody like me, it's like I don't want to sit here and watch somebody like just pander to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. It's like people watch comedy to get away from real life, or like to find the humor in like the pain of living and shit. And I don't. It becomes too much about reality itself and not like the humor in it. And it's just not for me. You know what I mean?
I agree. All right, it's time to bring Kiera in. She's gonna pray for you and see if she can convert you to Christianity. So here we go. Did I do it right? I did it right. Kiera, meet Guile.
Hi, Guile.
Hi, Kiera. Nice to meet you.
I was just kidding. You're not really going to try to convert him, are you? Yeah.
Wait,
You're
I was
good.
just now you.
I'm all right. You don't.
Oh, he's already on. He's already on the same page as you. See that? You don't even
Nice.
have to put any effort into it.
Nice. Wait, you threw off my train of thought. I was gonna
What
say
was
it
your
was the
train of thought?
first name I pronounced correctly
You're good. It's
You
this
got
Kyle.
it
whole
right,
time.
but I
Yeah.
got it wrong.
I switched
Woo!
the letters to I switched the letters so my family wouldn't find me, and then they found me immediately, so it didn't matter.
Well,
Oh man.
uh,
Wait.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, interesting. So the name is interesting. Do people? So if you're like at an open mic night and somebody's bringing you up, do they struggle? Do people get it wrong often?
Every time, dude. I just say Kyle at Starbucks. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah.
I think it's funny to
Yeah.
watch them flounder my name on stage and shit.
No, a friend of ours, Carlos Valencia. People, and that's a pretty easy name, Carlos Valencia. But people always broke up his name. Callis, they called him. John Caliendo, one guy brought him up on. John Caliendo, like, how is that
Yeah.
Carlos Valencia?
I've had that my whole life too. When I call in food, I just use the name Matt. It's easy. And it's like Matt. That's
Me?
it.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm flattered by that.
Easy.
Nice.
Thanks for using my name so often. Anyway, Guile is East Bay, and it turns out that Sacramento is not in the Bay Area.
Yeah, that's not controversial here either.
No,
It's
Oh.
settled science, man.
I did not know these things. See, I've been lied to. I've been made a fool of, and I feel like I should make somebody pay for this. Somebody should pay for this.
You probably got told that by somebody who lives in Sac.
Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact, and I'm not going to mention his name here. He's a pretty well-known comedian who is from Sacramento and works that area all the time. And he basically said that to me. He said, up here in like the Bay Area, I was like, oh, I think anything north of LA is considered
Wrong. It's
Wow.
considered the Bay? No, dude, you're crazy.
anything.
You're nuts,
I know that.
dude.
I know that. Even I know that much, that anything north of the Bay is
Bakersfield is the Bay Area. Fuck no.
not. I didn't know Bakersfield was even north. I thought it was.
Who gives a fuck about Bakersfield?
I'm not good on the geography of California, and I should, because I did spend quite a bit of time there. I know the area around LA. I know the areas around Orange County, Laguna Beach, and all that kind of stuff. Where
So
I
you went to
stayed.
Disneyland, is what you're saying?
No.
He said no.
Actually, I knew Disneyland when I was a little kid, but that last time I was there, like 9 years old. No, basically spent some time in downtown LA at in the worst East LA, where the ghetto part of LA, East LA and Bonnie Bray, living in the next across the street was the Hotel Californian, not Hotel California, but I stayed in a Hotel Cameo where two beds. For a week, the rent was $27. $27 a week for two bedroom. I mean, two beds in one hotel room. We stayed there for several months. It was like a welfare
Jesus.
hotel.
That wouldn't even pay your water bill today.
I know. And even in those days, it was like extremely cheap, but it was terrible. I mean, there was like gangs in the alley outside the window, and all kinds of weird shit going on. And we were the only two
Nice.
white people for miles and miles, and they called us Simon and Garfunkel because I'd walk around with a guitar. It was just basically Simon and Garfunkel. Anyway, and so that.
But in your guitar
was,
case, you had a shotgun, right?
yeah.
Were the gang members calling you that?
Oh yeah. And then the other time that I stayed there, I lived in Laguna Beach, and we were commuting from there on bus up to North Hollywood all the time. We were out there pitching record deals, and so I was out there for like 6 months that time. But every day riding buses for hours and hours up to LA and all that stuff. But the Laguna Beach thing was because we knew a girl there who would let us stay at her place for free on the beach.
For free?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Yeah.
You guys were smashing some chick, and she was letting you.
Yeah,
stay.
exactly.
She was letting you
old.
crash.
She was older and had a place, and we were young, and I'm basically a gigolo.
Hell yeah, dude.
Selling my body for
That ain't
women
free,
board.
man. That ain't free.
It is what it is. So, Chiara, your dad asked me the other day. I don't know if you caught it. He said, "What was my main job?" Because
Oh, all right.
apparently your dad is from an era where you got one job and worked that job for 30 years and got a retirement from it. And I was like, I
Yeah.
didn't have.
And he's living the life. And now he's
Yeah,
retired.
good for
Smart
him.
That's how
guy.
boomers think, man.
I lived a life when I was young, though. So I think I won. I think I had it better than him because I was living the life in my 20s and 30s rather than waiting till I'm too old to do anything with it.
Yeah. I know. They should be backwards. We should retire in our 20s and then, yeah. Yep.
And
Did he ask you when you were playing in that retirement home?
No, he asked me when we were playing at a place like where I was getting attacked by bugs. On Sunday, we played a outdoor restaurant together, and
I was watching the gnats get stuck in your arm hair, and I
on the
was
water,
like,
yeah.
"Ooh."
And gnats are the most fucked up bugs because a mosquito, if you go, it'll take off, but the
No,
gnats
it
just sit there.
won't.
Yeah,
No, it
while you
won't.
play, it won't.
You got some pussy ass mosquitoes out there,
I know.
dude.
Yeah, no, they'll latch on. No,
No, I think
they were brutal.
yeah, and so
Why are there gnats hanging out in your arm hair, dude? You have Crisco on there or some shit? You're all greased up.
It was right on the water. No, she's greasier than I am. She's like 10 times more Italian than I am, even though I'm
True.
darker.
You had the gabagool
Yeah, but
scent on your.
I do gabagool. No, I said it's a good thing I'm anemic because they really weren't biting me. They wanted you, so I was excited that I didn't have.
Is that what it is?
Are you using anemia to flex on us right now?
Really? That's
I'm deficient.
When the mosquitoes latch onto me, they get heart disease.
and bad nachos. You guy had bad nachos.
They go, damn, these fucking nachos suck, man.
Yeah. Did you ever have pretzel cheeseburgers?
At Wendy's, yeah.
No, my wife brought me home last night. She went to the Pretzel King, and she brought me home pretzel cheeseburgers. I was like, "What the? This is gross." It's like a
gross.
cheeseburger in the middle of a pretzel.
Yeah, no, pretzel burgers, man. Wendy's had them. You didn't have them at Wendy's?
I don't know.
What was that sandwich where they put a piece of chicken for the bun? Remember that?
They had chicken for the bun.
They had a sandwich.
You're probably talking. Oh, KFC.
Yeah, and then they had two pieces.
I shouldn't
of chicken.
know this. I shouldn't know this off the top of my head. Dude.
No, you're revealing a lot about yourself here, Gal. So you're up on the. You know what? I was going to call a restaurant today. I was looking for one to call in sick. I was going to start that today. My new thing is I'm going to be calling in a restaurant every day or a place like a fast food place and calling sick to it. When I never worked that. They don't know me. I'm just going to say I'm Jose, the dishwasher. I'm not going to make it in today.
Jose the dishwasher.
You're on the fast track to getting canceled, bro.
I know. That's kind of a racist thing to say too, Jose the dishwasher. I know.
No, I didn't say it wasn't funny.
But it's true. I don't understand. I don't understand. We can make fun of each other.
We can?
Yeah.
Okay, so I should have called, but I couldn't find a good one. First one I had with a phone number on it is all the way in Brooklyn, and I was like, well, I call it, but then they're gonna get my number, right? Because everybody's got caller ID, and they'll be like, if I prank them too hard, they're gonna know and they know it's me. So
you don't
I'm
dial
gonna
star
do it.
67.
I think. Oh, is that how you block? I was gonna ask.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Damn, dude. You've been getting got for years.
I know. I know.
Wow.
That's how you came up with the idea. You were getting fucked with so much.
I know. So I was thinking, just make a habit of this is just calling into sick to someplace I don't really work every day. And then offering this service to people. You know how some people are shy about calling. Oh, I don't want to call in. They'll know I'm not really sick. I will call in for you. I'll say I'm your doctor. So if you know anybody who needs to take a day off, but doesn't know how to call in, they can give me the number. I'll call in sick for them. Look,
They're calling you. Are you coming in today?
hello, it's Jose. How
No,
you get my number, ma?
I'm pranking all the restaurants in my area right now. I'm doing a no call, no show kind of thing.
Wow. That was clever.
They're wondering where I'm at.
Where are you? Yeah, we have your nachos ready.
Yeah, we have your usual. Ready.
Kyle, nachos.
That's how you know you're a fat piece of shit. Is when me. I walk into this restaurant. There's a burrito place. They know my exact order and everything. They know my first name. I don't know theirs though.
They don't know your first name. They know Kyle.
Yeah. No, they know my actual fucking. I corrected them.
Wow.
Fucking. I might as well work there.
Yeah. So Kia, I gotta say goodbye to Governors before. That's what that alarm noise was. Governors Comedy Club.
Goodbye,
Maybe we can
Governors.
get ready for Knock 'em Dead comedy with Tony Wolf.